Hello, this is Vivica Williams, and you're watching Head to Head. Ukraine is making major progress in higher education reform, but it's not a simple process, and it's not one done in a vacuum. Education, employment, and economic development all go hand in hand. To talk more about this and programs that help create the most talented students, we're joined in the studio today by Anna Karnaukh, Senior Arts Manager at the British Council, Ukraine. Hello, and thanks for joining us today, Anna.
Hello.
So let's jump right in and talk a bit about this switch and change and shift in higher education to being more practical education and bringing in different aspects of creative economy instead of just this focus on traditional types of education.
Yes, this is what is going on exactly at the Ukrainian and on the global scale of higher education. I can tell about the UK because I'm representing British Council. Nowadays in the UK, more than half of the universities, and it doesn't matter if they are about creative sector or any other profession, so they are focused on developing entrepreneurial skills in their studentship. And that can be in different types of programs. It can be social entrepreneurship, it's about incubation of businesses, it can be running some capacity building programs or trainings, so that at the end of the tuition, each student is well equipped for being employed, first of all, in developing not only knowledge but skills to be a qualified professional which is competitive at the market, but also it's about person having idea what is it being entrepreneurial and what entrepreneurship means, and that a person has the basic skills to set up an enterprise or be involved in the enterprise if he or she wants to do that.
Oh, well, that's a great focus, and we see also in Ukraine that's something that's very big talent in the Ukrainian population, and the education needs to conform to that. I mean, we see Ukrainians not just outsource, but becoming a leader in R&D and startups and business incubators. So we need to see the education, the higher education, reflect that.
Yes, absolutely. So what is happening now in Ukraine is that actually young people and emerging entrepreneurs, they are already there. So they are setting up businesses or they would like to set up businesses, and the higher education needs to respond to that. So they need to be well equipped to give young people actually the knowledge and skills they would like to get, and they are actually already asking for, because actually there is this switch going on in higher education and in general in education reform, is that now a student or a pupil, he's not just a receiver of knowledge, he's actually a customer in a way. So customers, they would like to get that type of knowledge, and just institutions, they need to offer that content. And in general, the landscape is becoming more and more entrepreneurial and competitive, so to embed it whatever the profession is becomes essential, I would say.
Yeah, and Ukraine is in this wonderful period when it comes to higher education reform, in which it's starting to respond to that, and there's giving universities a lot more free rein to be able to do that. So I know that there's some programs that have been created recently at the British Councils to help take advantage of that and to help pull Ukrainian universities into an international partnerships. Tell us about this program.
Yes, so this is a new 5-year program which is called Creative Spark, and it involves Ukraine but also 6 other countries: Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. So this program is about giving institutions in those 7 countries opportunities to partner with universities and creative economy organizations in the UK and use their knowledge to run activities in these 7 countries about developing the entrepreneurship around students, around graduates, and also emerging entrepreneurs. And that could be different types of activities using the knowledge and experience of the UK to run activities here. It can be different types of trainings. It can be, as you said, setting up incubators or creative hubs. It can be running different types of competitions for students, which are about pitches of their ideas, about showcasing what students can develop at the students or graduates level in terms of business projects. So any kind of idea can qualify for developing partnership with UK institution and then bidding for grant up to £50,000. And this is only the funding for this year, and the program is for 5 years. So then the next year there will be another opportunity to bid for more funding. So now we have the open call running. It is open until 8th of October. And the application form is available at the British Council website. There is a detailed information about the partnership fund available. So the only essential thing is that actually the UK organizations, they are applying and administrating the funds. But the partnership is around UK and the local institution. In our case, it's about Ukraine. So to create that partnership, now Ukrainian organizations, they need to be proactive and find the partner in the UK and then together develop an application. Then that application is being submitted by the UK partner. So this is the basic mechanism how it works.
Right. And what are some preliminary results that you've been seeing so far?
Well, we are getting a lot of requests. So we are in the request stage and we cannot now name the number of applications. I can say that a lot of organizations got interested. We are now promoting this opportunity around different events, conferences. There will be a webinar for potential applicants next week, and we hope to answer as many questions as possible. So now this is a stage of very active interest, and it's very pleasant to see that both universities got interested, but also NGOs and creative economy organizations. And this program is also about creating local ecosystems that would nurture entrepreneurship. And this is very essential that not only a university creates a link with UK universities. Actually, what is essential and great is that on the local landscape, universities can partner with hubs or creative economy organizations and then together develop a partnership with UK partner. And this way, I hope that this program will help to develop creative economy long-term ecosystem.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming to talk with us about this. And before we go, what's some advice that you might give to some of the universities or organizations on both sides, whether they're local here in Ukraine or ones that are in the UK that may be interested?
Well, this is something from other programs and my experience there. First of all, I would really advise to read the technical requirements of the application, because sometimes organizations, they end up developing a program, a project, which is amazing, but it doesn't suit to some technical requirements of that specific funding. And they get trapped somewhere in those technicalities. So I would say just before you develop any kind of a project or application and for that specific funding, so just read all those kind of boring but still very important details that would enable you to get it. And second, I would actually, on the other border, I would advise to find a partner who corresponds to your vision and long-term values, because this is what is it very important about the partnership, and at the end that would make the partnership work.
It's not just about a partnership for the length of a grant.
Absolutely.
It's about finding a partnership for decades.
I can also say that those who would be interested in applying for Creative Spark, they can approach British Council. We can give you some information about potential partners, so some contacts that you can then research and maybe find someone who would tick with your vision, how you would advise to develop creative entrepreneurship. So there is a list of organizations we can help with that.
Wonderful. Thanks again for joining us. And we look forward to seeing some of the results in the future.
Yeah, we are. I hope there will be some, and we will come into the studio to talk about them. Thank you.
And that was Anna Karnaukh, Senior Arts Manager at the British Council Ukraine. Thank you very much for watching UATV, and stay tuned for more.